We're going to look at JETRUNNER, which looks to be a speedrun-oriented parkour FPS type thing. So, like, my mind immediately goes to, like, I mean, I guess Neon White wasn't quite as much parkour specifically, but, I guess Cloud Built was another example, which I never got very far in. But you've clearly got stuff like wall running going on in this. Now it says play the... Oh, I guess this is the demo specifically. It's so confusing how, like, some things have specific demo pages and some things don't. Usually the demo pages still have, like, the full description on it, but let me actually click on the full game so we can see the full description. JETRUNNER is a parkour FPS with cel-shaded comic-like visuals and a gameplay loop that can be best described as Trackmania meets Titanfall. Which is interesting, because, like, yeah, I guess Titanfall had the wall running too, right? Trackmania I've never played, so I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that part of it. Rich, expressive movement and tight gunplay is what JETRUNNER is all about. Notice they didn't say tight movement, and therein I think is going to lie the rub based on my initial testing of this. About this game, a wise man once described jet running as the perfect combination of athleticism and engineering. It's where the frontier of science meets the breaking point of human metal, and highly monetizable video broadcasting. Mick A. Caster, jet running commentator. Name is literally A. Caster. Welcome to the world of JETRUNNER. In a dazzling near future where gravity is optional and style is mandatory, JETRUNNER is the planet's most thrilling sport, a pulse-pounding fusion of first-person parkour, fluid controls, and fast-paced FPS action, designed for only the boldest contenders. Run, jump, slide, and blast your way through handcrafted arenas as you climb the ranks and etch your name into the annals of jet running history. Features: fluid FPS parkour gameplay, wall run, vault, grapple, and blaze through courses in style. Built for speedrunners, stunt fields, and highlight reels. 60-plus unique arenas. From the New York cityscapes to the bustling streets of Seoul, every arena is a new challenge to conquer. 6 futuristic gadgets to master. Jet-fueled tools that give you the edge, mobility, and flair all included. Narrative campaign. Join rookie sensation Nina White in a fully voiced story mode as she rises through the ranks and battles for legendary status. Challenge mode. Precision meets planning. Master each level with speed, smarts, and a hint of obsession. Optimize, execute, repeat. Global leaderboards. Beat the best. Then make sure everyone knows it. Alright, I don't like that there's so many frickin' screen flashes and the animations going on here. Build your legend. Jet running isn't just a sport, it's a test of nerve, style, and split-second decision-making. It's a way of life. Whether you're chasing the fastest times, showing off your flashiest moves, or climbing the leaderboards, the stadium is your stage and the arena is your own personal parkour playground. But remember, speed can only take you so far. Legends don't follow paths, they create them. To follow a true jet running legend, you've got to elevate your game, master your arsenal of gadgets, time your boosts, and bend the arena to your will. Whether it's shaving milliseconds off of your run with perfectly placed grapple, or discovering shortcuts no one's dared try before, the path to greatness is anything but linear. Every arena is a puzzle begging to be broken, and the best runners don't just play by the rules, they rewrite them, experiment, adopt. Every run is a new opportunity. In JETRUNNER, the finish line is just the beginning. With dozens of arenas, infinite route potential, and time-saving tricks waiting to be uncovered, every replay is a chance to push yourself further. Race against ghost replays of your own runs. That's a thing you could do in, what was the game I was talking about before? Neon White. I was getting, like, multiple game titles confused in my head. It's like, 2 words, first one starts with an N. Next Machina? No, absolutely not. Race against ghost replays of your own runs, chase the perfect route, and climb the global leaderboards, or just beat your own friend's smug personal best. From split-second adjustments to bold new strategies, there's always another way to go faster, go flashier, and go viral. So tighten your laces, charge your giga coils, and run like the cameras are always rolling. It's time to show the world what you've got. Also, remember how I said there was, like, quiet music in the background? There isn't anymore. The music stopped. I can't believe this has the Doom problem of the title music doesn't loop. Can I restart in this? Because, like, I only barely started, like, the very beginning. And I don't know if I can reset my save file. Reset save game, right there. Okay. So if we do that, we should be able to start at the beginning. But let's look at the options. I like how you can set whether it shows the build ID, which is, like, probably a good thing. It's in the top right corner. That way you can compare what I'm running against whatever you play potentially later during Next Fest as the demo inevitably updates. You can choose whether you have to hold the wall run input. I guess if it's off, you press jump again. It's like a toggle. Wall run auto jump. Jump off wall automatically when wall running ends, either by reaching the end of a wall or by letting go of hold input. Okay. We're not using hold input in this case, though, so that's the part that I'm kind of like, eh. I assume it works like a toggle, though. We've got colorblind options, so that's cool. Also, it's interesting that this has, like, 2 of 2, 1 of 2, as, like, you were on the second of 2 settings. In this case, it's off and on, so it's pretty obvious, but that's just something that's, like, always mentioned in these options. Does this support... So, this clearly supports keyboard, but there is no focus indication. On the right-hand side, you can see what's focused, because it always, like, shows the explanation of the currently focused thing, but there is no visible focus indicator, so that kind of stinks. I would kind of assume, yeah, that's also a problem. Oh, wait, no! Look at that! If I use controller, the color, like, the background lightens on the active one. It's still way too subtle. But with keyboard, that doesn't happen. Also, now it's not even working? It was working before. Please explain this to me. I don't understand when games manage to have menus with functional gamepad input, but non-functional keyboard input, or half-broken keyboard input. Like, if gamepad input works, apply the same logic to keyboard. Like, it should actually require more effort to do this wrong. So, I'm not sure how they managed that. Anyway, what's on the input? Sync sensitivity sliders. Yeah, so, like, you can sync or separate these. Invert look axis, which, okay, that feels like it would be simpler if you had invert X, invert Y as separate things, but this kind of works. Here's our bindings. We've got jump, we've got dash, we've got jump slash dash? Jump when grounded, dash otherwise. Interesting option. I agree with it not being bound by default. Crouch, hold, and toggle. Melee on F, the correct melee key. Weapon fire is left mouse button. Use item is right mouse button. Mouse wheel selects item. But you can also do that... You can do that in one direction with the keyboard, but not the other direction. Spray. Not sure what that... Spray and drink... Why is drink coffee over on the other side of the keyboard? Presumably that's not important. Enjoy some coffee. Why does it say bindings 4 and then there's nothing after it? Okay, so some stuff here is kind of weird. Like, that's got something in bindings 4 on the right side of the screen. That doesn't. So, okay, they're gonna have to update this a little bit. Reset player, which is presumably to, like, go back to the beginning of the level. Reset challenge. I'm not sure if that, like, does that wipe scores? Like, why is it set to delete? Show or hide ghosts, save replay, has a key binding, but it's not set. I would assume that's more of a thing you would elect to do after you complete a run, so I'm not exactly sure why you would bind that. Mapping preset, this is for gamepad, okay. So here's the thing. Southpaw. Oh, so that's probably just reversing the analog sticks. I was like, this doesn't tell me what the preset is. Like, what do the buttons actually do? But it's probably only reversing the analog sticks. You've got look... Why is look sensitive? What the hell, dude? That makes no sense. This should be a slider, first of all. Second of all, what's even more confusing is slow plus and slow plus plus are less slow. But fast plus and fast plus plus are more fast. And then normal plus and normal plus plus are not more normal. They're faster than normal. This doesn't make any goddamn sense. What is the boost? Boost multiplier on the horizontal axis when the stick is fully deflected. What? In other words, it makes you look even faster when you're hard pressed left or right, I guess. Okay, and then you've got dead zone settings. I don't see any vibration option. I'm not going to be using a gamepad anyway, but I have to wonder whether there is or is not vibration. Because if there is vibration, there should be an option to turn it off. Alright, we've got window mode, resolution, aspect ratio, constraint aspect, field of view, frame rate limit. And they've got separate ones for always, when you're in the menu, and when the game is backgrounded. So that's pretty cool, actually. I like seeing that. More games could stand to do that. UI scale. Yes, good. Speaking of things that more games could stand to do. Constrain UI aspect ratio. Interesting. I suspect some of these are, like, meant to benefit ultra-wide. Yeah, look at the choices here. Because you got 1610 for your older widescreen monitors. I haven't seen a 1610 monitor in a while. And then you've got your 21.9 and your 32.9. So, yep. You've got a resolution scale, and then you've got all these options. Why is everything set to epic? I might need to come turn this down. But we'll see how it performs first. Also, there's no, like, global preset to set all of these at once. Somehow material quality is set to low, while everything else is set to epic, and that seems weird. So yeah, like, I could stand to, like, turn down a couple of these, I think. We'll see about post-process quality if we want to try turning that down if there's anything annoying going on. I appreciate that there's actually an apply there. Let me try something. If I do this, and then I do back... Also, I kind of wish that settings were just in the menu here. Like, real talk, when I first opened this to test it a few days ago, I didn't notice settings was here, and that's why I actually started a game, because it's easier to find settings in the menu when you pause the game than it is to find settings in this title screen. So now the question is, did it accept that? It did. It changed that. So, even if you just hit back and don't hit apply... Also, let me try something else. So if I go back there, and then we go into settings again and go back here, apply is always active. I'm not going to hit undo. I don't want to poke the bear right now. But we'll just keep things this way. Yeah, see, they gray out when you hit apply, but if you just hit back and then you go in there, it's already got these enabled, which doesn't make sense because I haven't changed anything. So there's definitely some details of the UI that needs to be ironed out. Anyway, let's start the game. So that we have sound.
Mic test. 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
How's the leg doing? The cast just came off. You can wait a couple more days, you know.
I'm fine. I've been on the bench all winter. I'm not waiting another day.
You do you. But don't come crying to me if it backfires, okay? I assume you don't need a refresher on the rules?
Run, jump, slide, shoot the target, cross the finish sphere, try not to fall along the way, and repeat. You know I know that.
Do I? Because I'm pretty sure you fell and broke your leg last time we were here.
JETRUNNERs fall all the time. That's what the quantum rewinder's for. It's not my fault that mine decided to stop working out of nowhere. Just shut up and cast, will you?
All right, if you say so.
Okay, so... You'll notice that the dialogue did not pause when I paused the game. You'll notice the timer also does not pause when I pause the game. So paused is a blatant fucking lie. Also, I'm immediately gonna go to audio, because I forgot to look at this. Voice volume is actually maxed. Those voices sounded pretty damn quiet, though. I'm gonna boost this a little bit. Master volume is already at 100%. Oh, background volume. This is what... Okay. This is what happens when you Alt-Tab. So, if we want to not lose background volume... Yeah, that works. Okay. Good that that is actually adjustable. I can't believe I just forgot to look at the audio tab, but it would not have helped for the intro anyway. This is just too freaking quiet. Actually, let me go... increase the balance a little bit, because those cutscenes are going to be hard to hear. So interestingly, this is another nice thing. They have a low dynamics mode, There's a lower dynamic range mix for smaller speakers, but it's also great for streamers because one of the streamer's worst nightmares is high dynamic range audio, because that makes it impossible to mix your audio for streams. Did the music just stop again? Yeah, it sure freaking did. This game really likes to just have music that stops. Anyway, I'm gonna restart now. Alright, so what are we doing? Jet jump into walls, press shift to jet dash. Okay, so there's a recharge sound. Press left mouse button to jet shoot the jet targets. I can't jet and believe this. And I screwed up. There's your quantum rewind, which ends with a screen flash. Thanks, I hate it. I don't think there was anything about that in here. I mean, there's the post-process quality, which I don't know if changing this to low does anything in terms of that. Was R restart? So if you press R to restart, it actually skips that whole animation. So there's also that. Let's actually take a look at things, because, like, how much bloom was there at the higher levels on post-processing? If I go down here again and put this back up to high, I don't actually see any... Well, there might be a tiny bit of bloom on lights like that, but it doesn't seem astronomical. Alright, let's start over again. I'm fully expecting to have a double jump. Yeah, okay, so if you press R while the rewind animation is going on, then it will skip the rest of the animation, which means you can avoid the screen flash. But honestly, that entire animation seems like it could be motion sickness inducing, so, like, it would be great to be able to just, like, automatically skip that animation and just skip to this. I keep expecting to have a double jump, dude. I don't know why it feels so, like, unintuitive to not have one. That time it sounded like the recharge on dash was longer. Okay, but again, neon white, you get different, you know, badge grades depending on how you do. Now, hang on a second. There's still an empty star there. So there is a... Yeah, okay, so on the left side here, there's a platinum. I am ranked 192. My head is covering it, but don't worry about it. Okay, that's bad. I want to see how I can, like, cut time off here. Yeah, see, that time it's... Maybe when you're wall running, it doesn't actively recharge. How does that do? Requirement for platinum is 13 seconds flat. I probably don't want to spend, like, a ton of time here. Oh, what if I just go across... Can I just land on that and skip everything? I can't... Can I not land on that? It kind of felt like I went through it before. I went, like, sailing over that. There's, like, this weird bounciness to coming off of wall runs. Although I guess that is the auto jump. Yeah, so you can just skip that. Okay, yep, that'll do it. 102nd rank. Alright, let's go to next level. Enter jet leap.
Hello, New York City! I'm Jack Matthew Santos, and today we're witnessing some next-level jet running. And who's leading the charge? None other than the Queen of New York herself, Nina White.
Citation needed.
Still not sure if I like that nickname, Jacques. It's a bit much, don't you think?
Too bad, Queen. Half of New York is already using it.
Half of New York doesn't even know I exist.
Yeah, duh.
That's the other half.
It's the other half I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm just that polarizing, am I?
Oh, yeah? Now, are you going to keep yapping, or are you going to show us how it's done? The least you can do is
Look
beat
who's
Mark's
talking.
time from the other day. Did you see the path he takes? He skips like 80% of the track. It's ridiculous.
With no due respect? I can beat Mark's times without shoes on.
Who's Mark? Can we see his times? Wait, okay, right-click. I see. So this is seriously going to be like Neon White, isn't it? Because this is basically going to be like the cards that you get in Neon White. Does that use it up? Yep, it does. This is literally Neon White. Wait, why is there... Oh, it's more ammo. Wait, how much ammo do I have? So right now I don't have any. Okay, it's +6 each time. I feel like we don't need both guns. This is literally Neon White. Like, you literally get a card in Neon White that does the same thing as this. Okay, that was not the most graceful idea. It's like, what if Neon White had way too much bloom and, like, screen flashes and... Wait, hang on a second. I feel like I, like, started with the gun that time. Shouldn't have done that. So, like, whenever you see, like, basically huge claw marks on those things, it's kind of suggesting... Why did that say easy? I guess they just always say different things, okay. Nice slide. I still expect to have double jump, but I don't. I don't know why I'm expecting to have double jump. I think it's because of the other game I played. Oh, that... If you dash early, it'll cut off your vertical momentum. Yeah, I think that'll actually... I clearly skipped something. Oh, yep, I did. Yeah, this is basically Neon White with a different coat of paint. 17 seconds, good grief. You know, they did say something about, like, skipping most of the level. So what can we do? Not that. Right, I'm gonna need to pick up another one first, but then... we go this way instead. And then hit that from there. Oh, but I don't have another one. Yeah, I'm better off hitting that from over here. Whoop, I didn't mean to do that. This is like skipping all of that, but I do need to hit. That was one. That's weird. Are they like flat? I thought they would be, you know, actually round. Alright, hang on. What? I'm pressing the wrong button for things. Let me do something, actually. Because right now I'm using shift to dash, but what if I were to bind that to my side mouse button? Maybe I'd be less confused. Yeah, and so this game, unlike the one I was playing before, does allow you to bind to multiple things, so that's good. Now I'm still using the other binding, though. Alright, could I... Oh, no. Alright. The mechanics definitely don't feel quite as crisp to me as Neon White did. Oh, jeez. Like, everything feels just a little bit, like... floaty. Yeah, apparently those are actually, like, flat targets. I'm still using the wrong button, dude. And I don't know why I'm getting confused by that, because... Actually, oh, now I know why I'm getting confused, because I'm saying this is like Neon White. Here's the thing, in Neon White, both dash and double jump are each cards. So you use the same button for them. Whereas in this, dash is a specific thing. Oh, I was wall running that. It's gotta be possible to get on there from there without a second jump. shit, that was a really bad trajectory, and I also missed the other target. I swear I pressed jump. Are you fucking kidding me? I feel like I should be making that, but I'm not. And what I should do is dash and then do that. Come on, that should have worked. Although what's interesting is it felt like I got that back during my wall run, which I didn't think was possible. I still did that the wrong way. Because clearly you can carry dash momentum into the double jump, but you cannot do the other way. Thank you. That worked. That was sus, but it worked. It's the wrong button. Shit. Well, there goes all the time save. It does seem like the hit target for these is pretty reasonable. Oh, shit. Did those regenerate, actually? Alright, that was super sloppy, but, like, starts to get the idea of what to skip. Oh, come on. I'm wondering if there's supposed to be a better way to do that, to make it less of a tight jump. That missed? I disagree. Okay. Ah! I did the wrong input. I keep doing the wrong input order, dude. I did the wrong input order again. It always feels like I'm barely not making it. I did that in the wrong order again. What is wrong with me? How does that not work? There desperately needs to be a ledge grab. If you can wall run on the corner of ledges, you should be able to just frickin' grab them. Because that feels really sus. That was not any faster. Alright, I'm gonna move on. Pillars.
You know you're allowed to sleep, right? As a matter of fact, you'd be better off for it.
The game never sleeps, so why should I?
Because I'm arguing with a brick wall, aren't I? Okay.
Oh, 100%. Still need to get in a few more runs on this track before they tear it down for the summer. And there's not really a lot you can do to stop me. I can sleep while the park's closed.
Well, I tried. Hey, Mom's making beans for dinner tomorrow, by the way. The good kind. You're more than welcome to join us if you can. Well, you know, get out of bed by then.
Fine. I promise to be in bed early enough not to miss dinner. Again.
Wouldn't want to miss the beans.
Wouldn't miss them for the world.
Wouldn't want to miss the beans. Not the beans. I can't help but notice we seem to have, like, a life bar. So, presumably, eventually there will be hazards. Shouldn't have done that. Okay, yeah, don't dash there. See, that seems like something you would want to climb, but you can't climb. You can use this, though. That was questionable. Where am I going now? Wait a minute. What's next? Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. I swear to God, I'm never gonna figure out the right button to press at the right time for some reason. That almost skipped over that. I gotta remember that, like, there was actually a... Okay, that's a platform, and I kind of, like, just didn't even realize it was there. And then we're going down there. And then we're doing that. And then we're sinking into the water. I gotta remember that you will jump off it anyway. I like how I never got my dash back there. I think dashing requires landing, or getting another dash requires landing or something. Yeah, seems like it. That seems really inefficient. I'm much closer to platinum than gold, though. The gold requirement is practically nothing. That was better. We might actually be able to get this one. Nope, don't do that. I'm also not realizing when I'm getting my dash back at the last moment of the map, because I don't think I'm hearing the refresh, but it might be earlier. Alright, I need to dash more. Oh, when I use the thing, it gives me my dash back. I didn't realize the sounds were happening at the same time. That one's weird, though. That time it didn't give me my dash back. Why not? Every other time I used that, it gave me my dash back. Is that a bug? I don't know. Like, that time it didn't either. Maybe it's that I technically landed when I picked it up versus not. Yeah, like, okay. That time I apparently did land. Also, I can't believe there's no music during the rounds. Like, big part of what sets Neon White apart from this is Neon White had frickin' amazing music at all times. If I just... Yeah, I can't skip that. There's gotta be something I can do to, like, sequence break this. Interesting idea. Not sure if it'll work, though. Hang on. I don't even need to wall run there, do I? It would help if I actually jumped when I pressed the jump button, though. Can I actually get straight over there? I might be able to do that. Hello? Jump? Oh, yeah, hell. Wait, hang on a second. We can lop off a ton of time. Maybe. Yes, we can totally lop off a ton of time. Holy shit, okay. That can probably save you more time than that. I'm still 86th place with that. Let's go to next. The old tracks. Hey, remember what I said about having music? There's music.
Hello?
No, there's not, because this dumbass has to say bullshit again.
Are you there?
You made it!
What even is this place?
Some old shabby underground tracks the street runners used to use before the park tracks opened.
There's definitely input latency because I have VSync on. That's
Don't
part
know,
of why I
but
was
I
not
need
getting
someone to
jumps coming out
practice while
before.
the park track is closed. And while it should be safe since quantum rewinders practically never break, I still need someone who can carry me out of here if something goes wrong.
Carry you out of here? Me? Okay. I know I look tough and talk a lot of shit, but you know you can bench press me, right?
You'll find a way.
Alright, there's actual music, and it's really quiet. Just like literally everything else about this game. Which is they 100% need to increase the voice mixing. Like, I cannot, I need to be able to bump the voice volume to 200%. I can't. It's way too freaking quiet. I would have to, like... Well, I guess I could technically do it in my OS because KDE lets me cheat, but... Can I do something with these? I sure can. Okay. I wish there were a more ergonomic way to do, like, the beginning of level, you know, plot voice stuff. I did get a thing. Okay.
Danger.
Okay, they just introduced enemies. It happened. We don't need both of those bars. Did those get louder too? Like, do those count as music, or were those just always that loud? Those were probably always that loud. But yeah, the music is too quiet. The voices are too quiet. But also, there needs to be a good way to listen to the voices besides starting the level and then wasting a full minute and then having to reset the level. Because you have to start moving to start the level, to start the voices. It would also be good if there was a way to skip them, because, like, honestly, I'm the kind of person who usually likes to hear the lore and stuff. But in this game, it honestly feels skippable, which is another way that Neon White is set apart from this. And yes, you're not going to avoid me compare this game to Neon White, because it very much fills the same niche. So, sorry. You're begging the comparison, and it's not holding up. It's not terrible, but it's not holding up. I'll try this again. Wait, can I just skip a bunch of shit here? Okay, but the problem is I need to be able to shoot those. Also, where am I getting the gun? Like, right now oh, right there. Okay. So yeah, you kind of do have to go through there, huh? Is there stuff down there? No, there's just rotating thingamabobs that look weird from the outside. Don't do that. So, hang on a second. Are we still technically in the prologue? That's kind of what I'm wondering right now. Oh, well, that was weird. I didn't pick up the thing. Because it's all the way down. I have to dash into it. Okay. I'm gonna run out of time for streaming this right now. That's the unfortunate part. This is actually turning out to be, like, okay. I was expecting I might not even last this long with it, but it's actually not bad.
Danger.
Oh, there's actually a thing you can slide down there, which would probably be faster. That is a new record for me, though. Go to next level, Serenity. This is still technically the prologue. There was a question mark in the top left that I didn't get to read. This seems bad for my
Around
health.
where the sun doesn't shine might not be ideal, but I'd be damned if I said you weren't improving.
Oh no, it's a bounce
I
pad.
don't have a second to lose. It's only like half a year until the Americas Open. Imagine if
I
I
see.
do well.
I think it's, yeah, it's reducing sound
Oh, dream bigger.
volume
You're going
when
to
they
sweep
talk.
The entire thing. I read about this. It's all about manifesting success through visualization. So visualize big.
I'm not gonna visualize a delusion, Jacques. Some of the best runners in the world are going to compete. But it would be nice to do well enough to land a sponsorship. Just so I don't have to spend so much time chasing advertisement gigs to pay rent, you know?
That's what I'm talking about. Visualize the crap out of paying that rent. Because I'm telling you, sponsors are going to line up to work with the Queen of New York. They just, need to find out you exist, that's all.
Thanks, Jacques.
You know,
What?
we should invite more people down here.
To a flooded and abandoned subway tunnel?
Yeah, why not? It's not like flowing water is poisonous, right?
I like how I just, like, if you don't wait to listen to the lore and just go, you can beat the level before the lore is done talking. But then these sound effects just completely clobber it, because while everything else was muted while the voices were going, that wasn't. Why does it look like there's something behind there? Shouldn't have done that. Yeah, what is this about? Clearly there's something going on here. I really wish there were a ledge grab. That is actually a shortcut. Eventually I'll hit the damn thing. Okay, that was bad. Because you can kind of dash back towards walls. Oh, come on, I should have dashed sooner. Oh, I missed everything. That was just barely not a, platinum. Oh, well.
Ready to go, Nina?
Just tie my jet shoes real quick. Give me a sec.
Are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna show us how it's done?
I think we hit the end of the demo.
How's the leg doing?
Oh, wow.
It just came off. You can wait a couple more days, you know.
Are you kidding me? I've been on the bench all winter.
Interesting.
I'm not waiting another day.
You do you. I assume you don't need a refresher on the rules?
Run, jump, slide, shoot the target. You know I know that.
This is the same voice line we already heard.
A wise man once described jet running as the perfect combination of athleticism and engineering. It's where the frontier of science meets the breaking point of human metal. My name is Mick Acaster, caster of the stars, and I welcome you to the world of jet running.
Oh, there's a grappling hook. Okay. So this will be interesting. And I was wowing at the variety of biomes going on. So that seems pretty decent, actually. I definitely do think that, like, like I said before, some of the physics feel a little bit... what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I said floaty before, but, like, they don't feel as crispy as, or as crisp as Neon White. And, like I said, that's inevitably what this is going to get compared to. It would probably help, though, if I turned off, VSync, which is in here somewhere. Yeah, I have VSync on right now. If I turn that off, it'll probably improve the feel of things. I am going to run out of time right now anyway. That's kind of why I wasn't spending too much time on any one map, but I would not mind coming back to this and trying to improve and, you know, get platinums and everything at least. This does a decent job. I will be interested in keeping an eye on this one. So, even if it is inevitable that it is going to get compared to Neon White, and Neon White sets the bar really, really high, especially in the way of plot. Like, the plot of this doesn't feel nearly as compelling to me. And as I said, I usually am not one to want to skip dialogue, but in this game, I don't really find the dialogue that compelling. So it's not going to hold a candle to Neon White in that department, which had like a whole plot line going on, which was really, really interesting. I really, really hope they have a way to turn down the bloom and like the screen flash effects in general. I had post-process quality on high. What if I turn that down to low? I don't know. Is there anything else? Not really. If I select level here and go here again and play it one more time. I already stopped my timer, but that's fine. Oh, whoop. Move to start. Don't jump. That's a bad idea. Yeah, like, you got, like, the speed lines on the sides and everything. Oh, you cannot wall run on that. I thought you could. That was too far down. Yeah, there's still a ton of, like, it doesn't reduce that at all. It would be great to... Oh, I bet I can skip that entirely. Alright. Like I said, I'm gonna run out of time right now anyway, so I'm gonna actually go back to the main menu. But yeah, it didn't seem like reducing the post-processing made things any less glowy. Being able to tone that down, and maybe also the speed lines during the dash and whatnot, are things that would be nice to add. And there isn't really a menu dedicated to accessibility. There was the color stuff, though, right? Maybe that was in here. That was in here, so I guess I could put more stuff in here. It would be nice to see some more to that effect, to tone down the visuals, to make it easier to focus on things. And I mean, like you saw when I was reading the Steam store page, I was having trouble reading the Steam store page because the animated GIFs that were going on were so flashy. There were so many flashes going on above me, below me, where I was reading. I was just like, can you just stop with the flashes, please? So, there is something to be said for that. But like I said, this is actually more interesting than I thought. I am more interested than I thought I would be coming into this because of the high bar that Neon White set. So this is pretty promising. So we'll keep an eye on JETRUNNER in the future. Does this have a release date? Nope, TBA. Okay. But pretty good start. Do they have anything else? Setback. Also to be announced. What is this? How can they have two things? Wait, and this is free? Hang on, what? Fast-paced arena shooter and a new take on traditional FPS. Core mechanic, setbacking replaces death with a rewind through time and space. So, basically the same way that JETRUNNER rewinds when you die, I guess. But the question is this multiplayer? I don't know. Yeah, this has online PvP. How are you gonna do the rewind thing in an online PvP? But since if it's primarily online, then I'm not terribly interested in that. It is interesting to me that it's listed as free, though. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on JETRUNNER. Alright, so a bit of an addendum. When I initially played through this, I did so on June 8th, the day before Next Fest started. Well, lo and behold, they issued an update the day Next Fest started, the day after I played this demo. And of particular importance, there's 10 tracks now. There were 5 when I played it. So they've doubled the length of the demo. And if we Alt-tab back into the game and I go to level select, you can see that right here. And I have spent more time with this. I didn't include it in this video because it was a bit of a mixed bag, and, you know, there was going to be a lot of me repeating levels over and over again one way or the other, but clearly I did spend more time with this. There are a couple of things worth pointing out in that, but here are the 5 levels that were added, because Serenity was the last one I played in this video. The first couple of things worth pointing out, you can actually see on the right side, as related to the first level. First of all, there's this red medal. This is a dev medal. So, just like Neon White gives you red staff medals if you get really good times that beat, like, the staff goes to the level, this game has that too. And also in the department of things this game has horked from Neon White, this second thing over here is a bonus coin, which is effectively like the gifts that you find in each Neon White level, except with minus the plot elements. But it's basically an extra collectible that there's 1 in each level, and honestly, it's kind of embarrassing that I didn't find these when I initially played this, because I'll show you where the first one is, so you can get an idea. They really want you to notice these. It's right there. It's within your field of vision when you start the first level. And like right now it's a little translucent, because I've already collected it, but when you haven't collected it yet, it has this very bright, big gold aura around it. Like, they want you to find these things. They try to make it easy to find them, and, you know, then of course the second part of the puzzle is getting to them, which in the case of this one... I'm trying to be a little careful here so I don't dunk myself. In this case, you know, the exit's over there, but if we want to get the medal, it's actually over here. And that's how you get the medal. And the interesting thing is you don't even have to successfully complete the level after picking those up. Like, even if you were to restart the level, it would still count as collected. In fact, it's not even there anymore. Like, it seriously remembers that I collected it. It hasn't, like, reinitialized the level at all. So that's the bonus medals. I guess the one other thing worth pointing out is you probably already noticed how, like, the scenery changes. Like, even when you're within the same location, because, like, a bunch of these are in Central Park. The time of day changes, the season changes, the weather changes. So, like, let me show some of the later levels that are perhaps a better demonstration of that. Because, like, here you've got the rain, and we've also got lightning going on every so often. I'll just give that a chance to actually happen once. But you can see that, like, now it's, you know, it's overcast, it's nighttime. There was the lightning. I do appreciate that the lightning is not a full screen flash. This game already has too many of those. Or, you know, too many, like, very thick edge-of-screen auras, which fortunately I did get to tell one of the developers about, because when I did play the second half of this, a couple of people who playtested the game and one of the developers actually tuned in. And the developers have been very receptive to feedback, so I told them about, like, the needing keyboard accessibility to be addressed in menus. Hopefully getting some kind of adjustability to screen flashes, stuff like that. And, yeah, they seem to be very serious about wanting this to be as good of a game as they can make it. So on the next level, we've got, like, either sunrise or sunset going on. You've got very colorful trees now. If we continue... I'll continue to the next 2 levels. So, like, now it's winter, now all the trees are mostly white. Although it is kind of funny to me that it feels like they're still, like, leaves, which I wouldn't necessarily expect. But you can, like, that makes it very clear that it's, like, a reskin. But, like, that's actually a really cool thing that I'm not even sure if Neon White did much of that. That, like... Because, like, Neon White, within each area, it would be the same aesthetic usually for all of the maps. Whereas this, like, it's clearly still the same, you know, sandbox, the same map structure, but they can clearly change a lot about just the look, you know, it's like a full-blown reskin. So now it's still winter, but now it's also nighttime. So that's pretty cool that they can change it up that much. One other thing I want to show on this map. You didn't even get to see that guy, did you? Those guys. All right. Well, I just fell in the drink anyway because I totally messed that up. But those yellow dudes are just constant rapid fire. It's very overwhelming in terms of the audio, and like that was also one thing I pointed out to the devs was that the blaster sound, both for enemies and for the player, it's got a lot of bass to it. It's a very loud noise, and unfortunately, it's on the same sound effects slider as the dash recharge chirp, which is really, really quiet. You can end up like not even hearing the dash recharge chirp when it gets drowned out by bullets. So I'm hoping, I mentioned that when I played the second half, and I also mentioned the fact that the voices are just so quiet compared to everything else, even when you have the voice volume at full blast in the game options. So hopefully rebalancing things is something they might look at. But they also they blatantly said that they're looking to rebalance the yellow turret enemies to make them a little less obnoxious. Because yeah, it feels like, you know, you just saw it. It didn't one-shot me, but it basically could have for how fast I had to reset that one time. So they might be a little overpowered right now. So that's just a brief synopsis of some of the stuff seen in the second half of the game. And then Marathons is a new feature they added to the demo after I initially played it, which is if you collect all of the bonus coins, like the one on each of the 10 levels, you unlock Marathons, and that lets you basically play through either all 10 levels as Prologue New York, or each of the locales within that chapter. So you had like the 7 maps in Central Park or the 3 maps in the subway. And the way those work is like it's still individual levels, but it's back to back, and there's some nice quality of life in that if you reset while you're in the first level, it will fully reset the timer. But if you reset in anything subsequent to that, the timer keeps going. So like it is a back-to-back, you know, do all these levels in order challenge. It's not just individual levels, and the time reflected here is for all of them at once, put together. So that's another thing that they added. But yeah, clearly the devs are very receptive to feedback. They wanna do as good of a job as they can with this. They said they would love me to playtest their game more. I feel like if I keep playtesting more and more people's games like this, I'm gonna have to start charging for it, which I don't want to do because I don't claim to be qualified. I just know a few things to look out for. But again, I appreciate that they were receptive to everything that I brought up. And so I felt bad about how, you know, sometimes I feel bad about how often I compare this to Neon White, but like you can see how many likenesses it bears. And one thing that one of the playtesters reminded me of is the main character's name is literally Nina White. It's like, yes, they know full well what they're going for. I think they were saying that like one of the other playtesters is like the top leaderboard slot holder for Neon White speedruns. So like they know they're gonna attract the same audience. They know what they're going for. It's very intentional, and, you know, while it's really, really hard to measure up to Neon White because that's at such a high bar in so many respects, this isn't doing a bad job. And it's like I said, it's clear that they want to do as good of a job as they can. So, like, this is still very much worth checking out. Just go into it, you know, expecting that Neon White is a hard thing to measure up to. So this might not quite be at that level, but they're still trying to polish it as much as they can. And like something that I need to point out about this game, because I'm not even sure I realized it, this game is running on Unreal Engine 5. And I managed to actually get it to run reasonably well, you know, with like a frame rate limit of 60 FPS. And it seems to run reasonably at that frame rate, which is more than I can say for probably every single other Unreal Engine 5 based game that I've ever tried a demo of. So, like, good job to the devs for actually tuning a game on Unreal Engine 5, because I was beginning to think that doing so was impossible. So, games that might actually run decently on UE5 do exist. Here's one of them. So, good job on that part for sure, devs. Yeah, is there anything else that I wanted to mention? Oh yeah, the one other thing is, like, they have been actively updating this demo. Like, throughout the week of Next Fest, I more than once, more than twice even though there were 2 posts here from that week, I frequently saw JETRUNNER in my Steam library with an update queued. So, like, they've been actively working on improving the demo. You can see there is a new post even after the one at the beginning of Next Fest here, where they mentioned a bunch of stuff that they've been revamping. So, like, yeah, they're working hard on this. So, if this sort of thing seems up your alley, definitely at least give it a shot, just because, like, the amount of work that the devs are putting into this is definitely worth giving it a shot. But that's JETRUNNER. I'm gonna stop rambling now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you some other time for more demos.